welcome to this episode of the blog Chronicles. I am your host, Matthew Loomis. This show is sponsored by BuildYourOwnBlog.net, the full-service destination for people who want to start their own WordPress blog and achieve long-term success. On this episode, we're going to talk with Hernan Vazquez. He is an entrepreneur who has founded 3 internet marketing companies, which earn high six-figure revenues per year. Hernan consults with business owners as well as helping entrepreneurs get more leads and sell more stuff using the internet. Today, I want to ask him about his system for increasing online sales, how he helps business owners grow, and his strategies for business blogging. He's based in Argentina, so let's step into my Skype studio and have a chat with digital marketer and entrepreneur Hernan Vazquez. Hi, Hernan. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt. Hey, everyone. It's really good to be here. It's a pleasure for me to be here, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, so how are things down in Argentina?
Well, things are nice. Weather is nicer. Actually, we are starting spring. Today is cloudy, but it's usually a good time of the year right now to be. Then it just gets hotter, and it's kind of humid in Buenos Aires. But otherwise, this is I think this is the favorite part of the year. So if you guys are planning on visiting Buenos Aires, come in spring. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Buenos Aires. It's a very cosmopolitan international city. From what I hear.
Yeah, definitely. So you should come. Hit me up when you're ready to come, and
okay,
we'll get there and drink some wine or whatever you want to do. So
that sounds great, man. So, Hernan, tell me first of all, I'd like for you to tell us about your first blog, like your very first blog.
Okay, so my first blog was, I've always been around or revolving the internet marketing slash affiliate space. So this was back, I was probably 10 years ago. And, I started doing a blog based on an affiliate program, which was in Spanish back in the day. And I started blogging about how to make money online, and those kind of things. So it was a lot of fun. It was in WordPress, actually, WordPress.com at that time. And it was a ton of fun. I had no idea what I was doing, but I guess that helped me getting started when it comes to knowing the ropes of blogging and creating content and those kind of things. So it was quite a while ago. And, I'm really thankful about that, because that's kind of my first step into, what will then develop into an internet marketing, digital marketing career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So you found WordPress to be pretty user-friendly for you as a beginner.
Yes, definitely. And I do not come from a technical background.
Right.
So it was really user friendly. It wasn't, the WordPress that we know today. It was really starting out. And I've been on some other platforms like blogger.com and those kind of things. But, I found WordPress to be one of my favorite back in the day. And coming from a non-technical background and having a non-technical family, because nobody in my family, goes around or knows anything pretty much about internet marketing. So I had to figure it all out. And WordPress, I felt it was a really good way to start.
Yeah. So you've always been in the digital marketing niche.
Yes, you could say so. My background is in SEO. I've been doing SEO for the past, I would say 6 years. I think that WordPress, helped me out a little bit on that as well. Yeah, 6 to 7 years doing SEO. But yeah, I've been mostly doing that, helping clients. I had my own SEO agency back in the day, and, helping clients doing some web design back in the day as well. So yeah, I was mostly related to that space, providing services to clients and then selling some affiliate products, and, just being curious in general, trying to make some money online. And testing and trying out things. But yeah, that would be my main focus. back in the day.
Yeah, and so I was reading your bio, and it sounds like you've come a long way. You have founded 3 internet marketing companies now.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you tell us the names of each business and what they do?
Yeah, sure. One of them, like my main, I mean, I've done a lot of things, during the past 10 years, but one of the main companies right now, it's called Semantic Mastery. It's I would say it's my biggest company, or the one that we have grown a lot. It's like one of my babies, because it's me with four other partners and myself, and that focuses on SEO training and digital marketing training. It was SEO training, but it has developed some other trainings. So it's basically coaching and training on the SEO/internet marketing traffic generation space. And then the other company is kind of it's in Spain as well, but it's focused on affiliate marketing mostly.
Okay.
On Scandinavian markets.
Okay.
And because I have a partner that's from there. And then the third company, it's like a spin-off of the English company that I started, implementing the strategies and approaches that have been successful in the English market, and I brought them to the Spanish market. So I have, the other company that's providing SEO training and services and whatnot on the Spanish side of things. So they're both really successful because they are all kind of based on the same strategies and approaches,
Mm-hmm. Do you offer SEO services for like the total newbie? Or do they need to know a little bit ahead of time?
Well, that's a good question, actually. I would say that you will need to know the very basics. Like if you do not know anything about SEO, here's the deal. We hold an SEO Q&A every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is free to come, free to ask questions. We are there. We have been over, we are getting close to 2 years every week answering SEO questions, So if you are a complete newbie, you can come and ask SEO questions over there. Now, if you want to purchase any kind of training, I would say that you get some exposure first when it comes to the SEO word before, jumping into one of the basic trainings, because I think that we can really help people when they have some small understanding on how SEO works and what gets your website ranked and how to produce quality content and those kind of things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So where can you find your weekly free training on SEO?
Well, if you go to semanticmastery.com/hump day, semanticmastery.com/hump day, that's going to redirect you to the latest event, because we use Google Plus events and YouTube Live to hold those events, and you can come and ask questions and whatnot. And we usually go on a first come, first serve basis. And over the past, I would say 12 months, it has been gaining a ton of popularity. And, sometimes we do not get to answer all of the questions. So do not get discouraged if you do not get to your questions. Just post them to the next event or try to be there early. But that's the main contact point that we have with much of the people that do not know what we do, and they want to know a little bit about SEO or learning or what we do. So
okay, cool. Sounds great. semanticmastery.com/hump day. Okay. I will definitely link to that in the show notes.
Amazing.
So, Hernan, you describe yourself as an entrepreneur and a digital marketer that helps business owners, freelancers, and solopreneurs get more leads and sell more stuff using the power of the internet. Can you share with us some of the ways you go about helping solopreneurs and entrepreneurs do this?
Well, that's a great question, because, again, I have an SEO background, but over the past, I would say 2 years or 3 years, since, we have developed our own products and we have developed our own marketing platform and whatnot, I had to dive into a lot of other skills, like, for example, paid advertising. I wasn't doing much paid advertising back in the day, but I'm doing a ton of paid advertising now. Email marketing. When you're building a platform, you need to kind of develop all of these skills. So, and that has allowed us to grow pretty rapidly, I would say. Because we will leverage on SEO, but we will also leverage on every possible channel that's out there, which includes, Facebook, social media, paid advertising, whatnot. So that's basically what I have been doing for the past maybe 2.5 years. And right now, because of that, I've started offering consulting services based on sales funnels, paid advertising, using SEO as another way of bringing traffic to your offers, to your content, to your website, then capturing leads and then turning those leads into customers. So in my experience, or in my opinion, it's more, like an overall way of seeing the whole quote unquote digital marketing game, because it's not only about getting your website rank, getting traffic, and that's it. It doesn't stop there. You know what I mean? So I think it's a more holistic way of approaching so that you can get results. Because one of the funny things that happened, back in the day when I was doing SEO for clients, SEO only, is that some clients, we got great results when ranking them. They will get, tons of page 1 or top 3 rankings, and they will get a ton of traffic, but they wouldn't sell a thing because then, their website wasn't converting, or they took ages to load, or they weren't even trying to generate a relationship with their visitors. They weren't capturing emails. So there's a bunch of things that comes after people actually land on your website. And that has been my job on my companies for the past, I would say 2 years. So I'm trying to delve into those niches or into those topics much more lately. So.
Okay. And over those last couple of years, you say that you've developed a system that helps websites get traffic and make money consistently, no matter what country they are in. So,
yes.
Yeah. So what are the common variables in your system that make it internationally successful?
Well, that's a great question, because I think that, quote unquote, humans, we all relate to brands and to markets and to purchasers pretty much the same way. It doesn't really matter where we are. The proof of that is that, we had a really good model in the English market, and then I exported it to the Spanish market, and it worked really well. And so the reality is that when you're getting traffic, doesn't matter where it comes from. It can come from SEO, it can come from content marketing, it can come from social media. You need to develop a relationship with them. It doesn't matter what kind of language they are speaking, but you need to develop a relationship with those people that are visiting you. So one of the best ways of doing that is, capture emails, then follow up. But it's kind of harder to do this with SEO because you're not paying per click. But when you're diving into paid advertising, you know exactly how much you're paying per click. And when you know how much money you want to make at the end of the month, or we can project that, the reality is that you know exactly how much money you can pay maximum per click to be profitable. You know exactly how much you can pay per lead to be profitable. So at the end of the day, you want to combine every source of traffic out there and have a system in place, which are usually, related to sales funnels and conversion optimizations and those kind of mechanics, so that at the end of the day, you have clarity on what you want to do and what you need to do in order to scale your business and make more money. Let me put a real quick example. Let's say that you're selling a $50 product and you want to make a 2-to-1 ratio in return. That means that for every dollar that you spend on advertising, you get $2 back. So the most that you can invest or that you can pay for each new customer is $25. If you pay $25 per each customer, then you will be making $50 back, which is a 2-to-1 ratio. That's super, super simple math. And then you can work backwards. If I'm paying, so if I need to pay $25 per customer, how much I need to pay for an opt-in, how much I need to pay for a click, how much am I converting? Am I getting SEO traffic, organic traffic? That's kind of a more long-term that will definitely feed your pipeline. So once you have those numbers nailed down, there's nothing preventing you from scaling, a lot and pretty quickly, I would say, online. So.
Yeah, let's get a little bit into paid advertising for a moment. You have a video on YouTube called How to Combine SEO and PPC for Long-Term Traffic, and you talk about how the two can work together in a powerful way. You recommend on the video that the small business owner or solopreneur who wants to do PPC should first save up a budget for the PPC. So I'm curious, what size of a PPC budget do you think is needed for someone just getting started?
Well, that's actually a great question because I would say that the initial answer it depends, because some people, I have some clients spending a ton of money, or a decent sized budget, I would say, like anything from $100 to $300 a day on Facebook, $500 a day. On the other hand, we have some clients that I'm consulting with that they are spending $10 to $15 a day on Facebook advertising. So the reality is that it would all depends on how much money you can invest in your advertising without having to compromise your operation, because I see that a lot of people are afraid of paid advertising because they have tested in the past that they haven't worked for them and they've spent a ton of money. And the reality is that everything that goes with paid advertising involves risks, because you need to pay money for something that you do not know if it's going to work. But we can do it little by little. In fact, that's the way we do it. We start spending $5 a day and testing and tweaking and make sure that those $5 are bringing at least one sale, that will cover those costs. And then we start scaling up. So if and if it doesn't work, you didn't lose much. You know what I mean? So that's how we approach paid advertising. So it's not about, going to the casino and betting in, all of your budget to the red. Because if you're putting an ad out there and it doesn't work, you're pretty much doing the same. You would better off going to the casino. There are not so many variables in there. You know what I mean? So that's how we approach paid advertising. And what I suggest in that particular video is that you can combine the two. Now, I see a lot of small business owners or solopreneurs that are focusing a lot on SEO, which is a great thing right off the bat. But SEO takes time. SEO takes time. It takes effort. You're playing with Google algorithms, and you're playing with a ton of things that are outside of your control. And you can combine the two a little, step-by-step scaling PPC advertising. And when SEO kicks in, which will be gradual, increasingly over time, then you can manage the two traffic sources. And by the time SEO kicks in, hopefully you will have already your numbers dialed down and you will have a potent, a powerful sales funnel in place.
Now, when you're consulting, do you have a favorite, a preference as far as Google ads versus Facebook ads, or does it just depend on the situation of the client?
Well, initially I would say it depends, because I get clients from that they are strictly business to business operations. And on those cases, Google ads do. But the reality is that I think that Facebook has been switching and changing a lot over the past 2 or 3 years. And I think that people are, even if it is a social network and people are there, not there strictly to purchase, but to make, friends, watch funny videos, those kind of things, you can still put your message in Facebook in a way that you will capture their attention, and you can then sell them to, at a later stage. So I would say that right now my go-to traffic source is Facebook advertising, definitely, because you can get a ton of data with a little budget. You do not need to invest. If you go to highly competitive niches in Google AdWords, they can get really expensive really quickly. You're paying 20, 30, 50 cents per click. And if you have a limited budget initially, you cannot get enough data. If you get 10 clicks and you spend all of your budget in your marketing budget, it doesn't make any sense. Now, you can translate that into Facebook advertising, and you can get a lot of data to work with just a little bit of money. It doesn't have to be much. But that's definitely my go-to traffic source right now. Now, there's targeting capabilities that I don't think any other platform have them right now. So I'm really into Facebook. So.
Okay, that's interesting. So if a business owner or blogger doesn't know anything about paid advertising, should they hire someone or can they learn how to do it themselves?
Well, of course, I'm a big hands-on learner. I think that you could definitely go ahead and learn it by yourself. There's no doubt. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself in those cases is, what would happen if I go ahead and, I invest maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months trying to learn this platform when somebody else can come and, maybe in 15 days you're already profitable. It's kind of the same happens when you're trying to fix your car. I am not a mechanic. And if I try to fix my car, I'm going to spend maybe a week and I will achieve little to no results, plus the stress and the wasted hours and those kind of things. If I get that to the mechanic, the guys there will have the tools, they have the skills. So it's not saying, okay, they're better than me because no, they have developed, they have invested in their business. So it's kind of the same in here, And the reality is that you do not need a huge budget to start. You need some budget. That's a reality. But I would suggest that, if you're a hands-on learner like I am, I like to do things and I like to experiment with things. But then once you know and once you have experimented with it a little bit, then you can, hire somebody that will give you results in the shorter time span possible. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like your car analogy. That's great.
Yeah.
Very, very true. You also have a video called Creating Free Traffic Fast on YouTube. Can you talk a little bit about that process? Because I do believe it involves paid advertising.
Yeah, well, basically there's no such thing as free traffic. I do not believe in free traffic because you are either paying with your time or you're paying with your money. Now, on some cases, let's say that you do not have a big budget to start. Of course, paid advertising is kind of a switch, a switch on and off. So you can switch it on and off and you can get traffic by tomorrow or over the next 2 hours. The other way that I mentioned on that video is more like an organic approach. You're an expert in some, in some niche, and I have had great results with giving away free value. Just for the sake of getting quote unquote attention or getting my name out. That's one of the main objectives of, for example, Ham Day Hangouts. Ham Day Hangouts is a free Q&A, but it has become our biggest sales tool, even if we are not selling anything in there, because people will come, will ask questions, they start trusting our operations. They will come again, they will ask another question, and you will position yourself as an authority. One of the things that I really, really like about, quote unquote free traffic, or one of the best strategies that I know of, is going to discussion forums. For example, if you're an expert in blogging, you can go to blogging forums and blogging communities, Facebook group, LinkedIn groups, those kind of groups where people are already engaged with the topic. And then what I like doing is to craft some sort of ultimate guide, the ultimate guide for XYZ. Let's say that you have a blog and you go into a blogging community and you want to do the ultimate guide to, get more viewers into your content or get more signups into your email list, those kind of things. And then I would post those guides into discussion forums, discussion boards, communities, Facebook communities, Google Plus communities, LinkedIn communities, etc. That will potentially, if the guys, it's good, it has to really have a ton of content and value. That will potentially get you, if you're posting on Facebook groups, that will get you a ton of new friends requests. You will get a ton of private messages, asking you stuff about the thing that you wrote, and it will potentially give you a ton of traffic to your website.
Should it be the same thing or something different than your email opt-in?
I would say that you mean the goal for the link, like where are you sending those that traffic to? Is that what you mean?
Yes, and when you're in the forums, different groups.
Right. Well, I would say that if you have some sort of opt-in bait or lead magnet, you can expand on that lead magnet. Or for example, let's say that you have a lead magnet that are the 5 steps to XYZ. You can give a 6th step or the first 2 steps on the forum, the discussion boards, and you will say, hey guys, if you want to, download another extra 3 steps, you can go here and download the guide. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's called content upgrade. So it's pretty simple to implement, and it works really, really well. And the good thing is that people are already engaged. There are forums like, you can, if there are forums about anything, and there are forums that people are super engaged about the content, they're having discussions, and there are threads that are, pages deep, like 30, 40 pages deep. So people are really, really engaged into that subject. And if you can go and become an authority on a blog, on a forum or a platform like that, then you will be, quote unquote, piggybacking on that traffic and adding value, which is the main point. So those are like the two main techniques or strategies that I talk on that particular video. One is one involves PPC, the other one doesn't. It involves some time. So
yeah. Do you use Korra at all, and do you find success with it?
Yes, definitely. That's one of my favorite traffic sources as well, like Q&A sites, Korra, Yahoo Answers, because people are actually asking questions. I think that you need to find the best question to answer, because otherwise there are a ton of questions that are being, asked over and over again. And some of them will get a ton of traction. Some of them will not. So what I would suggest in those cases is that you jump in a question that has, a lot of interaction, a lot of heat maybe, and you can go and drop a line of comment over there. Also, you need to put effort in this, because people that do not know you can potentially start knowing you from that point onwards. So it's like your handshake. I like to think about it as your handshake. So if you have a strong handshake, people, will trust you, etc. So if you're dropping these value bombs all over the place, then at some point people will find you, and then they'll start following you or your business.
So you don't find it advantageous to jump in and be like the first person to answer a question. You want to go where there's already a lot of discussion happening?
Well, yeah. I mean, it would all depend on your approach. I've tested the two of them. Initially, when you're starting out, when you're building a profile, for example, on Korra or Yahoo Answers, or those kind of places, you're building a profile, you have 0 answers, 0 points, whatever, then you want to go ahead and build some sort of reputation or profile. But once you have some clout in there, then you can jump into these big questions, because they're already getting a ton of traffic, And again, some questions will get traction and some questions will not get traction. So I think that it takes you the exact same amount of effort and time to jump into a question that already has traffic in it and, it has views and subscribers, than to drop a really high valuable comment on a question that probably 3 to 5 people will ever see it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, definitely. This is good stuff. I've always heard about Korra. I think I have a profile on there. I just haven't spent any time on there.
Right.
So I need to check it out for sure.
Right. I started using Korra because they have this beautiful design that if you paste a YouTube URL, it will embed on the question itself. and the answer rather. And the reality is that you will get a ton higher, you will get much higher CTR, click-through rate to your question because it has a video. So
Okay.
yeah, and it will allow you to embed images and PDFs, so you can pretty much craft a really beautiful answer in there. And I started using Korra to get more video views, but then I got hooked up just answering questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I try to be there like maybe 2 hours per week or 3 hours per week every week, so I can actually, because the reality is that you're actually helping people out, which is the main point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll see you over there on Korra.
Sounds good. Sounds really good.
All right. Now, Hernan, I want to shift in a little bit to content creation, which I know you're a big fan of content curation as a way to create high quality content that doesn't require a lot of time and energy. So first, can you share what you mean by content curation? And then my next question is, if a blogger is a one-man show who does all the blog content by themselves, how can content curation help them produce great content without burning out or going insane?
Those are great questions. Okay, so content curation is kind of grabbing current news or industry highlights or stuff that is happening right now and adding your comment to it. It could be you can curate videos, you can curate other people's content, other blogs or other authority bloggers, those kind of things. And coming from an SEO background, you need, and coming from when you're blogging as well, you need a ton of content. And the reality is that the big media outlets, that those guys, the big juggernauts that they will have, a floor filled with journalists, they are still using content curation because they cannot keep up, churning out high quality content like, those articles that you turn out that turn out to be beautiful, 5,000, 10,000 words guides, those beautiful articles. How many of those can you do after you stop getting ideas, or you want to kill yourself? But the reality is that content curation is like a great way of feeding your audience, putting something out there, fitting with your commentary, with your opinion. The mechanics are super simple. You just, pretty much literally copy and paste the articles that you're trying to comment on, and you will leave paragraphs of your own comments,
Yeah.
So it's super simple. The reality is that you need to link back to the sources, which from an SEO perspective, if you're getting material from an authority blog, it's super interesting because outbound authority links help you with your rankings.
Yeah.
So, it's an overall great strategy. Now, what I like doing when I have my blogs and, I manage a couple of authority blogs that I do not write to or write for rather, but I do, manage the content team. And those are like, on one of them, we have like 3 writers right now. And the reality is that I like, in terms of SEO and navigation, I like to divide my content or the content that those blogs have into 2. The first one would be the money posts, the 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 words guys that it will take you a ton of time to craft, So those will be your money posts. They will get interaction on social media. They will rank on Google. They will be retweeted, shared all over the place. So those are like the main money posts. Maybe you're selling something on that post as well. The other group of articles are the secondary posts, and those posts could be easily done with curation. So you're talking about the same subject, quote unquote, but instead of doing a 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 word article, you can get, a 500 words article that's curated. And that will help you, again, feeding Google bots, feeding your audience and filling your website with content that it's not garbage, because you want to keep quality in it.
Yeah.
And that's a great way of, crafting a post that otherwise would take you maybe an hour. You could crank out a post in 20 minutes or so because you're commenting on some other people's content, and that's a real world practice that will benefit your traffic and your SEO and the visibility of your content as well. So.
Yeah, and you're talking about like copying and pasting like a portion of the article.
Oh, yeah. Sorry if I wasn't clear enough. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that you're not saying the entire article.
No.
Okay.
Just a fraction of it. And the reality is that you want to aim for at least 50% original content. In terms of SEO, that's like the threshold. Yeah. So be 50% original content at least. Mm-hmm. So if you copied, 400 words, you need to write another 400, but you can get an 800-word article for the time and effort that will take you to write a 400-word article, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think content creation is great too. One simple example that I use is just like my monthly top 10 favorite blogs. I mean, like, the favorite articles that I have read over the last month.
Right.
And I simply, write a blurb about each one, link to them. It's also a good way to develop relationships, I've found. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's a beautiful thing. So, Hernan, we're heading into the close here, and I want to ask you, in the next 2 years, what sorts of opportunities do you see for people wanting to take their businesses online, or solopreneurs who want to generate income online? What exciting opportunities do you see on the horizon?
Well, that's actually a great question. I think that right now, for example, chatbots, the usual chatbots or chat application like Messenger. On Latin America, we use WhatsApp. There's WeChat in Asia. I know that Facebook is betting heavily on developing the Facebook Messenger as an all-in-one app, so that you can, actually order your meal from Facebook Messenger, pay for your goods on Facebook Messenger, etc. Mm-hmm. Because actually, WeChat in China, it's already doing that. So I know that there's a big chance of generating rapport with your audience in terms of how you use those kind of applications. That's still under development. I know that Facebook has launched a brand new set of ads which are aimed to, you click on the ad and instead of going to an external page, you get a message. So a message with an offer or with opt-in, etc. I do not have enough data as of yet to keep. I need to keep playing with that, to be honest. But the reality, that's already there, and I think there's a big opportunity to promote your content to your contacts via text message or via Messenger app, for example, with a group or something like that. And, I see that coming more and more. Mobile will keep getting bigger and bigger. The reality is that I think that it doesn't matter what kind of niche you're into or what kind of, product that you're trying to sell. The reality is that you need to set up a platform and you need to develop your platform. By platform, I mean the list of subscribers that you have, the amount of people that is following you on social media, the people that visit your website organically. Those assets are your platform. I think that your number one asset is your list, your email list right now. And if you're not developing your platform, do not focus that much on the product that you're wanting to sell, but on the niche that you're trying to build a platform on. Yeah. Because once you develop a platform in there, you can sell pretty much anything. It doesn't have to be the same product all over and over again. But think about it. Okay, I'm going into this niche. I'm trying to become an authority. I'm trying to build a platform. I'm gonna share value with these people. And then at some point, if you decide to sell an affiliate product, people will be responsive to that because you have feed them with good quality content. The same happens with your own product. If you're launching a physical product, doesn't really matter. Just try to develop your own platform, and your platform will be the thing that will set you up for the future. That's my point. So,
and of course, a actual blog itself or website is an important part of the platform.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's the way you communicate with people at the end of the day. So yeah, do not neglect on that, because that could be a great asset as well. And the reality is that having your own blog on your own website and your own email list will set you free in a way, because otherwise you're asking for permission to Facebook to send you traffic, and you're asking for permission to Google to send you traffic. But when you have your own blog and you have your own platform and your own email list, then you do not need to ask for permission to have a successful business. So,
yeah, well said. I like that. So, Hernan, the final question I ask all my guests here on the Blog Chronicles. First of all, before I do, let me ask you: do you like to include the term blogger in your title, in your bio?
Yeah, you could say so. I would like to have more time to write more, but I'm trying to churn out as much content as possible as I can. I found that videos are a great way to do it, but any video, any time of the day could turn into a blog post. And the greatest opportunities that I've had over the past 6 months have come from having great pieces of content in some authority websites. So guest blogging. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Well, then let me ask you this. Over the last 10 years of your blogging journey, how has blogging changed your life?
Well, I think that blogging is, I really think that blogging is one of the main things why I'm here right now, because it has allowed me to develop a ton of relationship with a ton of people that are actually out there reading my stuff or watching my stuff. And it has allowed me to add a ton of value, and I get this every day, like, thanks for the content that you put out, thanks for the stuff that you say. And I'm not trying to do that to sell anything. It's just trying to be helpful, and because at the end of the day, I think that the more helpful you are, the better businessman and entrepreneur you become. And money will come at some point. So that is not the main point of blogging. I think that blogging has helped me develop a ton of relationship with amazing people. And if it wasn't because of blogging, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I'm really thankful about that.
I am too. If it wasn't for blogging, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Yeah.
So, Hernan, where can people go to connect with you online?
Well, if you have SEO questions, you can come and drop a line on Hump Day Hangouts. I'm pretty active on YouTube as well. I've been trying to add a ton of value to my YouTube channel lately. So if you search for my name on Hernan Vazquez, you will find me. And then you can check out I quote unquote manage a Facebook group that you can join, and we can hang out there and ask questions. So those are basically the 3 main contact points that I have right now.
Sounds great. We're going to keep in touch, Hernan. I want to thank you for coming on the Blog Chronicles today.
Thanks you, Matt. It's been a pleasure, and I hope we do this again sometime in the near future. So
definitely. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Blog Chronicles. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe on YouTube or iTunes and leave a rating or review to help other bloggers find us. If you want to chat, look me up on Twitter @MattLoomis. So who is going to be my next guest on the Blog Chronicles? We're going to talk with the owner of Korra Content Marketing, Catherine Korra. Not only is she running a successful business from her home, she has 2 employees also working for her who happen to be her daughters. So I want to ask her how that works. And one thing I like about Catherine is her enthusiasm for storytelling, because she is a former journalist and she understands the power of stories. So we're going to talk about what storytelling can do for your blog. Plus, Catherine is also a published author. Her memoir, published by HarperCollins, is called Quicksand: One Woman's Escape from the Husband Who Stalked Her, a True Story. This book was made into a Lifetime Network movie, and so I also plan to ask her to share that story with us, so this should be a lot of fun. I'll see you over there.